Today I want to share with you the secret to how to make the best chicken patties ever. Hi sweet friends, I'm Mary and welcome to Mary's Nest, where I teach traditional cooking skills for making nutrient-dense foods like bone broth, ferment, sourdough, and more. So if you enjoy learning about those things, consider subscribing to my channel and don't forget to click on the little notification bell below. That'll let you know every time I upload a new video. Well, today I'm participating in a collaboration called the Pantry Raid, and it's being coordinated by a lovely lady named Vicki over at Vicki's Country Home. It's also being hosted by Lori over at Whippoorwill Holler and Katie over at Heritage Ways. And I'll be sure to put links to all these ladies' channels in the pinned comment below. And I'll also link to the playlist that Vicki's putting together because Vicki is inviting everyone to join in on this collaboration. So if you'd like to join in, be sure to make a video and contact Vicki and she'll add it to the playlist. Well, as I said, the theme of this collaboration is titled the Pantry Raid. And basically what Vicki has asked us all to do is to just look and see what we can find in our pantries to pull together a quick and easy dinner or any meal. And as is always the case, when we use the term pantry, we're referring to the Four Corners pantry. So it can be anything in your working pantry, in your refrigerator, your freezer, or your extended pantry, what we call the prepper pantry. It's basically meal ideas for those nights when maybe you haven't defrosted something or you haven't had a chance to go grocery shopping and you've just got to look in your Four Corners pantry and see what you can come up with for an easy dinner. For my contribution to the Pantry Raid, I'm going to make chicken patties, and we'll go over the ingredients, but keep in mind you don't need to write anything down. If you open the description under this video, you'll see the term recipe with a link next to it. If you click on that, it'll take you over to my website, Mary's Nest, the same name as my YouTube channel, and you can read the recipe online or print it out. Now to make these chicken patties, I'm going to use canned chicken because this is something that many of us keep in our working pantry or our extended pantry. The only drawback about working with canned chicken is that sometimes it can look and taste like tuna fish. But I have a few secrets to share with you for how to bring this back to looking a little more like chicken and tasting more like chicken. Now, if you've got home canned chicken, you can definitely use this in this recipe, or even if you have some cooked leftover chicken in your refrigerator, you can use that as well. And I'll have all the exact measurements for how to make these substitutions over in the printed recipe. Now, the first thing that you want to do when using store-bought canned chicken to make these chicken patties is to give your canned chicken a really good rinse. But before we do that, we want to get started with one other step first. The first thing that you're going to need is to get 2 cups of breadcrumbs. Now, what I've got here are seasoned breadcrumbs, but you can use whatever you have. And I think many of us know how to make homemade breadcrumbs, but just in case you haven't had a chance to do that yet, I have a video where I show you how to make homemade breadcrumbs. And I'll be sure to link to it in the iCards and in the description below. The nice thing about making your breadcrumbs homemade is you can really control the ingredients. And you can use sourdough bread and you can use your whole grain breads, so you really get a healthier breadcrumb. And then you can add any seasonings to them you want, or you can just leave them plain. I always like breadcrumbs with a little Italian seasoning in them. So I like to get a nice big bowl, and then I'm going to go ahead and dump my 2 cups of breadcrumbs into my bowl. Then you're going to need 1 cup of cream. I've got heavy cream here. Now, the reason that you want to use some type of liquid that has a fat in it, like heavy cream, is because canned chicken can be very dry. Salmon patties are easy to make because salmon is a very fat-rich fish, but the canned chicken is actually very dry. But by soaking the breadcrumbs in some cream first, before we add in the other ingredients, it is going to significantly help to lighten this chicken and make it more moist and more flavorful. So that's another secret. Now, what if you don't want to use heavy cream? Are there other options? Yes, you can use half and half. You can also use whole milk. But they're not going to be as rich, obviously, as if you use the heavy cream. Now, what if you're dairy-free and you want some sort of alternative options? Yes, You can use things like oat milk or almond milk, things like that. But you'll probably want to take some type of oil that you use in your diet, whether it's like a coconut oil or an olive oil or something like that, and use 3/4 cup of your liquid and then add 1/4 cup of one of the various oils that you do use in your diet. I'm just going to give this a little whisk to get that cream thoroughly incorporated with these breadcrumbs. But having that fat is really going to help to make these chicken patties very tasty. Now I'm just going to set this aside and let those breadcrumbs soak, and we'll take our canned chicken over to the sink and give it a good rinse. Now I used 2 cans of chicken that were about 12.5 ounces each, but don't worry if your canned chicken isn't exactly in that range, 12 ounces to 13 ounces. This is very flexible. But you'll notice that when I open these cans of chicken, it looks like tuna fish. They look like pink chunks, and if you smell the aroma, if you're familiar working with canned chicken, but if you're not, if you smell the aroma, it smells like tuna fish. So what you want to do is empty your cans of chicken into a strainer and run them under cool water for about a minute. And as you're rinsing your chicken, start to break it up with your hands. After about a minute of rinsing your chicken and breaking it up with your hands, it's going to look like what I've got here in my bowl. It'll just look like nice shredded chicken, and you'll notice that the aroma, the tuna aroma, has lessened tremendously. Now the next secret is that you want to start adding your flavor agents at this point before you mix anything with your breadcrumbs. Now what I've got here is a teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. But this is the mix that I'm using. There is a lot of flexibility here on how you want to flavor your chicken patties. I'm going to be serving these with spaghetti with a marinara sauce, so I'm giving these an Italian flair. But there are so many possibilities. You could use herbs de Provence, you could use a Southwest seasoning, you could use a ranch seasoning. There's a lot of different seasoning mixtures that you could add to this. And I have a video which I'll be sure to link to in the iCards and in the description below, where I show you how to make a whole bunch of homemade seasonings, including Italian seasoning, herbs de Provence, and Southwest seasonings, and all kinds of things. So you can definitely check that out and use whatever seasoning mix you like for this. So I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle all of this in, and then we'll add our other flavoring ingredients. Now what I've got here is 1 onion. It was about a medium onion or so that I've just grated up. You can chop it up. I like to grate it. I find that it just blends really well in making any kind of patty, whether you're doing a chicken patty or a salmon patty. When you grate the onion, I feel it really disperses nicely along with whatever meat or fish you're using. So I've just got about, as I said, a medium onion grated, and I'm just going to go ahead and add that right in. And I highly recommend adding the onion. It adds nice flavor, and it also helps add some moisture, again, to combat any dryness that's in the canned chicken. If you like garlic, you could certainly grate in a couple of cloves of garlic with this as well. Next, you want about 1 cup to 1.5 cups, again, there's some flexibility here, of some veggies. And this is what I call the clean out the crisper time, because you're going to look for some vegetables that are soft. You could have some spinach or mixed greens, some lettuce, some parsley, things like that, that are going to chop up easily and mix in easily. Now, when it comes to spinach, you can definitely use chopped fresh spinach, or you could even use chopped frozen spinach. Now, what I've got here is 1 bunch of Italian flat leaf parsley. I had that in my crisper. And also, too, if you do have things that maybe have getting close to being past their prime, this is the perfect time to use those up. So I had this Italian flat leaf parsley in my fridge, and a few of the leaves had turned yellow, so I pulled those off and I said, okay, this is going to be perfect. And then what I've got, that's maybe about 1 cup or so. And then I've got maybe about a quarter of a cup of some oven-dried tomatoes that I had that were packed in olive oil. Again, the tomatoes add flavor, color, and also the fact that they had been packed in olive oil will add some more moisture to these chicken patties. And if you want to see how I do my oven-dried tomatoes, I call them candied tomatoes. They're really wonderful. They're just great to snack on as well. And you can, when they're done, you can go ahead and pack them in olive oil. And I'll be sure to link to that in the iCards and in the description below if you want to see how I do that. But so I took a couple of those, maybe it's about a quarter of a cup. Again, you know, you've got flexibility here. So we've got everything in our bowl, all of our seasonings with our chicken, and we just want to get in there with clean hands and really give this a good mixture. So just give this a really good mix around until all of those vegetables are well incorporated with the shredded chicken, the shredded canned chicken. And oh, the aroma now is wonderful. There's no smell of tuna fish any longer. And you just want to give it, this is the secret, one of the secrets. You really want to really give it some good squeezing and get all of that flavor starting to be infused into that canned chicken. It's going to make all the difference in the world when you bite into these. They're going to have wonderful, rich flavor. Now, last but not least, you're going to need 2 eggs. And what you want to do is just get a little whisk or a fork, whatever you have, and just give these a nice little beating. Boy, these are the farm eggs. Gosh, the yolks, they're orange. I just love it, glorious. And if you've never tried one of these whisks, I don't know if you have one of these little magic whisks. I once saw Nigella Lawson using one in one of her cooking show videos, and I said, that is so clever. And they just cost a couple of dollars, and I absolutely love it. Next, you just want to get in with your egg. Just pour your egg, get in with your egg. We are going to get it with our hand in a minute. Want to get all of that in there with our clean hand. And then we'll just go ahead and give this egg, these 2 eggs, a good mixing to get them completely distributed with the chicken and the veggies. Alrighty, now that we have the egg incorporated with our mixture, we're going to bring our breadcrumbs back that have been sitting in this cream, and we're going to go ahead and just dump this right in with our breadcrumbs. And now we'll start forming our patties. So we'll give this a real good mixture, get our breadcrumbs well incorporated with our chicken and all our veggies, and these are just going to be terrific. Now, after mixing everything together, we've got this beautiful mixture ready to form into patties. But before we do that, what you want to do is get a frying pan ready, and you're going to need some fat into this. You need to put some fat into this frying pan. Whenever I pan fry or pan saute something that's going to be breaded, which we'll talk about breading these in a minute, or even if you don't bread them, contain bread in them, I like to use beef tallow. It really doesn't impart much of a beefy flavor, and you can't beat it for getting that beautiful crisp crust on the outside of food that you're pan frying, or even if you're deep frying something. But if you don't want to use beef tallow or you don't have it, other options are ghee, because ghee, like beef tallow, has a high smoke point. Ghee actually has a very high smoke point. And basically what that is clarified butter. Simply butter that's been melted and has had the milk solids removed. Now, what I mean by smoke point is the point at which you do not want to heat your fat or your oil above that point, because then you start to damage it. And we never want to eat damaged fats. Beef tallow has a smoke point of around 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Ghee has a smoke point around 450 degrees Fahrenheit. You could also combine butter and olive oil, or you could just use butter. But with any of those, you need to keep in mind that the smoke point is more in the 350 degree Fahrenheit range to about maybe 375 degree Fahrenheit range. And so you want to never let your fat go above that medium setting on your burner, and you want to keep an eye on it to make sure that nothing is burning, especially when you're using butter. because butter contains the milk solids, and the milk solids can burn, so you just want to keep an eye on that. But olive oil by itself is an option, and if you use other fats like coconut oil, you can certainly use that as well. Now I've got beef tallow in here that I had already melted, and I had this burner on earlier, but then I turned it off so everything would be quiet when we were preparing the chicken patties. So now it's turned solid again. It's solid at room temperature. And so I'm just going to go ahead and put this on medium heat and get this starting to melt and coming up to temp. But to make 6 patties, what I like to do is just once I have my ball here, I just like to go right down the middle and divide this in half. And then I'll go ahead and divide each half into 3 portions. And for the fat, I just wanted to mention, you're going to need about 1/4 cup or even a little more than that. Just keep your eye on it as you pan fry these patties, and you'll be able to tell if you need to add a little more. But I have right now probably about 1/4 cup of beef tallow in my frying pan. And for making your chicken patties, basically just pick up one of your portions, and just like making a hamburger. I like to have them maybe about 1 inch, about the size of the first joint of my thumb in thickness. I find that works out well, and they hold in some nice moisture and flavor. Now if you want, you can go ahead and pan fry these just the way they are. But I like to take it one extra step that I feel is another little secret to give it a beautiful crisp crust on the outside. And what I've got here are more breadcrumbs. Now these are panko breadcrumbs, and in the video where I show you how to make homemade breadcrumbs, I share with you a little tip on how to make a homemade version of panko. Are they really panko? No, it's a mock panko, but it's close enough. But you can also, so if you want, you can use panko breadcrumbs, or you can just use your other homemade, toasted breadcrumbs, or your homemade leftover bread and things like that. But I find if you use some kind of panko, either store-bought or the homemade mock panko, that it really makes for a nice crisp crust on the outside of the chicken patty. Then what we're going to do, we're just going to take our chicken patty and just plop her right down here and give her as best a coating as we can in these breadcrumbs. Now, could you dip this in egg or a little milk or something like that before dipping it in the breadcrumbs? Yes, you can certainly do that, but I don't find the step to be necessary. The chicken patties are nice and moist, so the breadcrumbs adhere nicely to it. Well, I've got my chicken patties all formed and breaded, and now I've got my tallow here up to medium. I just sprinkled in a few of the little breadcrumbs. They seem to sizzle, so I think we're at a good heat. So I'm going to go ahead and get started pan sauteing, pan frying these. And what I'm going to do is put 3 in here at a time. And we're going to saute these for about 4 minutes or so on each side. These are a healthy size since I did 6, so they may take a little longer, but if you made 8, then it's probably going to be about 4 or so minutes on each side. Well, look at these glorious chicken patties. Now, what I like to do is, as I take them out of the frying pan, I like to put them on a paper towel, a platter that's lined with a paper towel, to just blot off any extra of the fat. Once you're done cooking these in the frying pan, if for any reason you need to keep them warm, you can put them on a baking sheet and pop them in an oven that you set at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, let's plate up one of these and break it open, see how it looks, and give it a taste. I love how nice and crisp these get on the outside. I don't know if you can hear this. Oh, it's so scrumptious. Well, let's break into the middle so that we can see how this came. Oh, it looks wonderful and piping hot. Well, let's give this a taste and see how it is. That's outstanding. Oh, the flavor and the moistness. You're just going to enjoy these so much. I really hope you'll make them. Well, I want to thank Vicki and Lori and Katie for inviting me to be part of this collaboration, and I'll put all of their information in the pinned comment below. Now, if you'd like more recipes for how to use all those ingredients in your Four Corners pantry, be sure to click on this video over here where I have a playlist with lots of recipes for you. And I'll see you over there in my Texas Hill Country kitchen. Love and God bless.